Today, my guest is Dr. Rachna Varia. Rachna, welcome. Tell us about yourself.
Thank you, Anne. Great to be here. I've been a clinical psychologist for over 25 years, working at Mindwell Psychology and really focusing on neuropsychological and psychoeducational assessment.
So, when parents think, oh gosh, I wonder if something's going on with my child, maybe I should have him or her assessed. What are some signs that that might be a good idea?
That's right. I mean, school is challenging for everyone. Everyone has areas of strength, everyone has areas of weakness. But when a student it's affecting their self-esteem, when they're not wanting to go to school, when they're coming home exhausted, when they're frustrated, that's definitely a red flag that it's gone beyond just a basic challenge. Something about their learning or their attention or their executive functioning might be getting short-circuited, and we want to find out what that is.
That makes sense. But, it's hard to tell as a parent sometimes, and you kind of often take the wait and see approach, especially this time of year, like, oh, maybe this year will be different. How do you know?
100%. As parents, right, we're always on edge and thinking, should I do it? Should I not do it? Again, I think if the child, the student, is feeling anxious, is feeling worried, is feeling frustrated, so maybe they actually hold it together all day at school, but they come home and homework ends up being an emotional meltdown. Or they're avoiding tasks, they're avoiding reading, avoiding getting started on a task. Then it's time to find out a little bit more about what might be going on.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about that. So tell me a little bit about testing. What does that entail?
So, testing is really a chance to learn about your child's brain. And so, I always tell families this is a chance to find out about how you learn, how you think, and how you feel. And every single kid learns, thinks, and feels differently. And everyone has areas of relative strength and areas that might be harder for them. So, we're going to be looking at how you approach problems, looking at patterns, doing puzzles, some drawings. We're going to be working on how you remember things. Is it easier for you to remember things when you hear it? Is it easier for you to remember things when you see it? And then a lot of it's going to remind you of school. There's going to be reading, writing, and math. But what I always tell kids is that, of course, getting the answer is important, but how you feel about it, what you think about it, and how you approach it is sometimes just as important as the answer. So the more I know what they're thinking, and it's a very interactive assessment, it's one-on-one, a lot of different tasks, then I can help the parents and the child connect the dots with their learning profile.
It sounds like it's pretty in depth. How is that different than maybe what a pediatrician does or perhaps what the school does?
That's right. Great question. So it's a lot of different tasks. It's not just based on questionnaires. It's really understanding how they learn. So it's going to be hands-on. Some of it might be on the computer. Some of it might be timed, not timed. Again, it's not stressful for the child. In the 25 years I've been doing this, most kids really enjoy it. It's tons of one-on-one attention. It's a lot of conversation. It's not just filling out a questionnaire, but it's figuring out, hey, how do you learn? How do you think about things? And also, how do you feel about things? Because academics and self-esteem and how you feel about yourself, everything's tied together.
What if you find out that maybe the student has ADHD or dyslexia or another learning disability? How is that communicated to the family and definitely to the child?
That's right. So, having ADHD or dyslexia or dysgraphia or any learning difference is one component of who that child is, right? That child could be a great soccer player, loves crafts, is a Netflix fan, whatever it might be, but this is one component of who they are. And usually providing a diagnosis provides incredible relief. There's like, oh, there's a reason reading has been hard, or there's a reason it's hard for me to stay focused. So it creates context, it creates a narrative, and the results are shared both in written format, a very, very in-depth report that can go to the school with educational recommendations, accommodations, modifications, but most importantly, an in-person feedback where we're talking to the parents and the child about what this means, what it means in real life. And it really ends up being a discussion for the family and a real pivot of like, okay, now how are we going to move forward with this new information?
I think that's so valuable. I always recommend testing if the parents are kind of thinking, what is happening here? I had both of my kids tested, and it just like really opened up um a greater understanding of what they were going through. Because sometimes as a parent, you're like, well, if you just focus more, try harder,
That's right.
And a lot of times it can seem like it's a willful issue, but it's not. There's pretty much always something going on beneath the surface.
That's right. There's a reason. And again, sometimes it can come as a surprise to the parents, like, oh, I didn't realize that decoding the words was so hard, or staying focused on the writing was so hard. And then if we know the reason, then we know how to move forward with intervention. So, like what you all do with your tutoring or executive functioning coaching, the testing can really help guide what to do, not necessarily to make school easier, but to make school more productive, something that that child is going to enjoy more, get more from the learning process, and not feel frustrated.
Love that, Rachna. Thank you so much for being my guest today. How can parents reach you?
Mindwell Psychology, we're located in Chantilly, Virginia. Our website is www.mindwell.us. Definitely go to our website. You can do a contact us submission or call us 703-378-7998. Someone will answer the call and talk to you, and we'll figure out how to best help you.
Terrific, Rachna. Thank you for being my guest today.
Absolutely. Have a great day.